What's up, everybody? Okay, I'm getting real with you. I'm fighting a virus right now. And a couple days ago, I was wiped. I was totally wiped. And that's when it happened. The voice, she came and she was like, "What's wrong with you? You should work. You have so much to do. You need to be more productive than this. It's not okay to rest. You can't just let yourself chill. You didn't earn this rest. It's not like a vacation. It's not like you work super hard and now you're deciding to take rest. You still have work that you need to do." Anybody else familiar with that voice? She comes in my head all the time. You still need to keep your foot on the gas. Don't let off. It doesn't matter that you're feeling sick. It doesn't matter that you're feeling like you need rest. It doesn't matter that you're feeling tired. You still need to keep going, Amber. Don't stop. Okay, so this is what I'm going to talk about today. I want to talk about how to take care of yourself and how to not spiral out when you are having a low energy day, as many of us have experienced, but I feel like we handle them all the wrong way. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. The low energy is actually not the problem. It's the spiral that's a problem. So I'm going to give you some tips and some techniques that I use for myself. I used them 2 days ago. And quick introduction before we get started. My name's Amber Deibert. I'm a performance coach for high achievers. I'm an expert in physical productivity, and that's what I want to teach you about today. The whole idea is that we physically expend energy the same way we mentally like to expend energy. And so you look at your physical energy expenditure as a map or a blueprint for how you mentally like to expend energy. I have a process called Work Like You Work Out, and I look at how you like to exercise to map out what your workday should look like. And none of us are 100% physically all the time. It just doesn't happen. And yet we expect ourselves to mentally be 100% all of the time. It's absurd. It's completely ridiculous. So today I'm going to teach you exactly what I do on a low energy day, how I escape the day without guilt, how I let myself rest without shaming myself, and how I get the most important things done and feel good about what I've done that day. And then I let myself rest and recover and come back even better than I was before. It's amazing. You should try it. Make sure you stick around for the third tip because that's the one that's most impactful. Okay, let's start with what's actually happening on a low energy day. Low energy is just information. It's not good. It's not bad. Did you know that? It's not a bad thing to have low energy. You're not a subpar human because you don't feel completely energized. We all go through cycles of growth and decay, growth and decay. Everything in nature goes through cycles of growth and decay. And so sometimes you're firing on all cylinders. You're super pumped up. You're super hyped. You're ready to go. And other times you're like, I don't want to do any of this. Maybe you're sick. Maybe you stayed up too late the night before. Maybe it was your own fault. Maybe it wasn't your fault. But for whatever reason, you find yourself in a low energy day. You find yourself feeling tired, and that's okay. Every single thing in nature has to go through cycles of growth and decay, growth and decay. Otherwise, the continual growth that we're promised that we think about, this hockey stick growth, it's not real. And the only thing that continues to grow in nature that I know of is cancer. You have to have the rest in combination with the growth. But you get to those low energy days and you beat yourself up. Like, what's wrong with me? I should be going harder. I didn't earn this. There's something that I am doing wrong and I need to still push through and make myself better. Here's how I think about it. Let's say that on any given day, you could be anywhere 1 through 10. And on these low energy days, you're a 4 out of 10. Now, most people, they continue to push and grind and hustle and continue to burn themselves out, just push themselves through the tired day. And instead of being a 4 out of 10 the next day, you're a 3 out of 10. Well, that's super helpful to everybody. And then if you keep pushing yourself, now you're a 2 out of 10. And if you keep pushing yourself, then you burn out. Look, nobody benefits if you burn out. Your team does not benefit if you burn out. Your manager doesn't benefit. Your company doesn't benefit. You don't benefit if you burn out. Nobody benefits if you burn out. It's not worthwhile. So on these days, when you're operating at a 4 out of 10, if you continue to push yourself, it's not fun for anybody. It's not fun for you. You're not producing well. Stop trying to push yourself and keep performing as if you're a 10 out of 10 when you're a 4 out of 10. Let me tell you an example of this. So I've told this story before. We went to Disneyland. It was so fun. We walked like 8 miles a day with our 2 kids and got home and were exhausted. And I had been taking a week off. And so I got home. I had a full deck of clients that day. And I was so tired from the very best possible thing to be tired from. And I also had a lot of tasks that I was behind on. So I had a completely full booked day and I had a bunch of tasks and I was stressing out about it. And then I just told myself, you know what, Amber, you can just let yourself chill today. Just show up for your clients. Be fully engaged, fully energized, fully present, fully focused with your clients, and just let yourself rest between sessions. I have like 5 minutes between sessions. So in those 5 minutes, I would go sit out on my porch and just let myself relax, do some breathing exercises, watch the birds, and then come back to my next call. And do you know what? Rather than pushing myself to try to squeeze in my tasks in between calls and try to get things done, by the end of the day, I felt so refreshed. I actually was like, you know what? I don't know who I was talking to, but I was like, Amber, you took such good care of me today. I can do those tasks. I had 30 minutes before I needed to go pick my kids up from summer camp. And so I got everything done that I needed to get done in those 30 minutes because I let myself rest. I was absolutely a 2 out of 10 starting the day. And because I let myself rest, because I reduced the expectations of myself, because I told myself and gave myself permission to be tired and focused on the minimum that I needed to do, I was able to actually get it all done. It's so cool. Treating yourself kindly, turns out it pays off. Okay, so that brings me to point number 2, a minimum viable day. We all have these massive expectations of what we're going to accomplish, whether we're feeling like we're a 10 out of 10 or we're feeling like we're a 2 out of 10. We have these massive ambitions. We write out the list of 100 things that we think we're going to get done today. And there's always a mismatch of, I think I'm going to be able to get these 100 things done. And it's going to take actually 10 hours to do all of that. And actually, I only have 2 open hours in my workday. There's always a mismatch. And so we're always, I didn't get done everything I wanted to get done. And there's a really good book about this. It's called The Gap and the Gain. And it talks about how we're always looking at the gap of where am I now versus where I want to be, and always measuring ourselves against that. I'm behind. I'm not where I want to be. And instead, this book talks about focus on the gain. Focus on how far you've come. Focus on what you did accomplish today. Focus on how productive you were. Maybe you didn't get all 10 hours of tasks done. That was completely unreasonable. But instead, focus on the things that you did get done. Actually plan your day based on what your capacity really is and make yourself feel successful. Hey, I did it. I focused on those things. Okay. So here's my number 1 technique that all my clients love. It's so easy. It costs almost $0. Get yourself some Post-it notes. This is the key. You have to get yourself Post-it notes. I mean, maybe some off brands, but we all know that they suck. So get yourself some Post-it notes. And when you're thinking about your minimum viable day, I want you to write down the 3 to 5. Ideally, it's 3. At maximum, it's 5. The 3 to 5 things that you need to get done today. You write them on your Post-it note. It's a 2-second prioritization exercise. You write them down on your Post-it note. You keep this Post-it note on your desk. This is the key. It needs to be visible in your space so that when you have 15 minutes between calls and you're like, what am I supposed to be doing today? You see that Post-it note and you remember, oh yeah, those are the only 3 things I need to get done today. This is the minimum. If I get those 3 things done, I'm a wild success. Today counts. I crushed it. So having it visible in your space is key to have a Post-it note because they're so small, you can't fit that much on it. And then it can sit in your visual space so that you can see it. And let's talk about how satisfying it is to physically cross off a task with a pen. Give yourself that dopamine hit when you cross it off. So that's my technique. You can use it on days when you're a 4 out of 10. You can use it on days when you're a 10 out of 10. But just sit down and decide what has to get done today. Minimum, no more than 5. Please don't stress yourself out. This is not a marathon. We're just focusing on what has to get done today and then get that done. When I'm thinking about minimum viable product, sometimes I'm thinking about, okay, in a week, what needs to happen? I'm just going to list out for myself what needs to happen in a week. And I can just get that done and then let myself rest once it's done. Maybe I get all of it done on Monday and let myself chill for the rest of the week. I'm going to just show up for calls, just be present, but I don't have this constant nagging in the back of my mind. So I want you to think about what is the minimum? And the minimum is not extraordinary. The minimum is not, I have to be an elite athlete to be able to accomplish this. The minimum is what can I do even on the days when I'm a 4 out of 10? What's the minimum? Not even to keep this thing thriving, but to keep a pulse. We're keeping it alive. And what's that minimum? Okay, speaking of the minimum and how you're wired and how your energy flows, I have a quiz specifically for you. It's so good. It's on my website, mentalmastery.com/quiz. You literally click 3 buttons and it will tell you what your energy style is and give you specific advice from my brain on how to manage your day based on your workout style. So go take the quiz. You can find the link in the profile, mentalmastery.com/quiz. Okay, point number 3. If you hear nothing else, please listen to this. Rest is a strategy. Rest, it's not a bonus. It's not an extra. If you get all your work done, then you get to rest. Rest is literally a strategy. So I always think about my enterprise seller clients as kind of the elite athletes of the corporate world. Sorry to everybody else. I know that probably sounds offensive, but they're the highest paid in the corporate world. They have the most pressure. They're the ones that are, you think about the roster, there's a leaderboard. They're being tracked. You could get traded at any point. You never know. You need to perform, right? And so I think about my clients this way. And if you think about how professional athletes manage their day, I don't know, there's probably millions of them, but I know for a fact that Steph Curry and LeBron James take a nap every single day. They do not thrive unless they've taken a nap every single day. That's part of their strategy. I remember reading something about Tour de France cyclists who also had napping as part of their strategy because they knew that they needed the rest in order to recover. If you think about an elite athlete who is using their body to perform, if they just exercise all the time, if they spent all day in the gym and always exercised and then showed up for their games, how would that affect them? Will they be in their prime? Absolutely not. They have to rest. If they exercised all the time, that would lead to more injuries, more burnout. They have to rest to be in their prime. And that's what I want you to think about for yourself as well. Here's the thing. I always talk about protecting the asset, and you are the asset. You are the asset. If you're thinking about protecting the asset and how do you bring the best asset to your team, to your manager, to your job, to your role, it's not going to be an asset that's burned out, that's exhausted, that's emotionally tired, that doesn't have time for hobbies, that hasn't had anything intellectually stimulating to think about. You want to bring the best version of you, and rest is a strategy for bringing the best version of you. Here's a reframe I like to give my clients. Your manager did not hire you to work a 10 or 12 hour day. Maybe you have a bad manager who's, yeah, you should be working like that, but hopefully you don't. If you do, let's talk. Let's get you in a better role. But your manager is not hiring you for the hours that you work. Your manager is hiring you to hit your quota. Let me repeat that again. Your manager is not hiring you for working a certain number of hours every day. They might think that, but what they really want is for you to hit quota. I was talking to a client about this yesterday. Do you think that your manager would be happy if you were like, I'm not hitting quota, but I'm working 12 hours a day? They'd be like, well, that sucks. Stop. Why are you not hitting quota? What if you said, hey, I'm working 4 hours a day and I'm exceeding quota? Do you think your manager would complain about that? Probably not. I mean, unless they're a psychopath, which, let's be honest, there are those managers out there. So if you think about it, your only job is to hit quota. That's it. That's all they want you to do. And you get to protect the asset. You get to decide what's the best way for you doing that. And rest is a strategy. Let yourself have that rest. Try to make it good rest, because we all know doom scrolling isn't real rest. So try to give yourself actual rest that's restorative. But that's a topic for a different episode. So here's where I want to leave you. Being tired is not a moral failing. I mean, sometimes it's our own dang fault because we stayed up watching some stupid show. But still, being tired is not a moral failing. It's just information. It's just information. We're going through a growth and decay cycle. Maybe we're sick. Whatever the reason is, you don't have to earn your rest. Rest is a strategy, and you can drop the shoulds. It's just part of being a human. You shouldn't be productive for a full 12-hour day every single day. Start to learn how your energy works and start to learn how to optimize for that. And you're going to be so much more productive and so much happier. Think about when you protect the asset and you bring your best self to work. Everybody benefits and you benefit. You're having so much more fun. If you want to learn your unique energy style, again, go check out my quiz, mentalmaster.com/quiz. And if you want help figuring this out and what this looks like for you, this is my favorite thing to do. Come check out my website. You can look at my coaching at mentalmaster.com/coaching, and I'll see you next week.